योग वशिष्ठ Sara 5.3 says, Vicharo adhyatma vidyanam jnanam tattva vido vidu geyam tasya antare vasti madhurya payaso yatha. The knowers of the truth proclaim that inquiry into the self-knowledge is knowledge itself, and like the sweetness in milk, Brahman-to-be-known exists in that very knowledge. The inquiry or discrimination is not merely an intellectual luxury, as is commonly seen while sharing opinions and contrary opinions, helpful only in acquiring name and fame. The right type of discrimination makes the mind inward and helps it to merge in the oneness of Brahman, that is the self. Tejobindu Upnishad 145-46 says, Yesam vriddhi samavriddha paripakva cho sapuna tevai sad brahmatam praptam no itere sadvadina kusala brahma vartayam vrittihina suragina te api agyan tayanunam punara yanti cho. They only attain the state of eternal Brahman-nature whose mental modifications are in the form of Brahman, uninterrupted, not scattered by desires of enjoyment, and do not vanish due to the defects of laya, kaśāya and the like. The mere chanters of a scripture cannot accomplish that. Unwise people, bereft of mental modifications in the form of Brahman, passionate for sense enjoyments, and very clever in superficial talk about Brahman, fall into the current of samsara again and again. There are 4 types of obstacles to samadhi. First is laya, the state of mind which goes to sleep without holding on to Brahman. Second is vikshepa, a distracted state of mind when it is not in laya, yet holds on to the external objects and not Brahman. Third is kaśāya, the state of mind when there is neither laya nor vikshepa, yet due to impact of desires born out of attachment and aversions, becomes stupefied and does not hold on to Brahman. Fourth is rasaswad, the state of mind which has started testing the bliss of Swavikalpa Samadhi and does not cross the threshold of Nirvikalpa. Pandit Vachaspati Misra, the author of Bhamati, in his commentary on the Brahma Sutra 3.4.26, said that the knowledge regarding Brahman is of 4 types. First is Shravan, the knowledge as listening to the dictums of Upanishad is called Shravan, which removes all doubts about the means of valid knowledge, that is Praman. Second is Manan, the conclusion of knowledge that arises through reasoning about the dictums of Upanishads heard previously is called reflection, Manan. Through this knowledge, doubts about the objects to be known, prameya, are removed. Third is nididhyasana, the deep thoughts that bath one in one's own real self are called contemplation, dhyan, nididhyasana. All contrary thoughts cease when such contemplation, nididhyasana, becomes stable. Thereafter, the undivided supreme mental modification dawns because of the experience of fourth state, from which there remains no more obstacle or impediment for liberation. Fourth is approx anubhuti. If that contemplation or nididhyasana is practiced with great devotion for a long time without any break, the solid knowledge of the fourth state, which is of the form of immediate experience, approx anubhuti, is manifested. That knowledge, at the very time of its commencement, bestows liberation to the aspirant by destroying his ignorance. The first 3 types of knowledge are of an indirect nature and they fall under sadhana koti, whereas the 4th type of knowledge, called sadhikotika jnana, at that very moment, oneness of the manifested consciousness and that of the non-manifested substratum consciousness is also accomplished. This is the immediate or approx knowledge. For that reason, it has been mentioned in this verse that Brahman-to-be-known is inherent in knowledge itself. The undivided mental modification of the form of Brahman, Brahmakar vritti, is called supreme modification. The purpose of mental modification is to break the covering of ignorance. Brahmakar vritti breaks the covering of ignorance once for all. For this reason alone, this is renowned as supreme modification. The above knowledge are of 2 types, direct or pratyaks and immediate or approach. The knowledge consisting of intellectual modifications is called the direct knowledge. Since modifications of the intellect are subject to destruction, it is non-eternal, anitya. It is caused by the proximity between sense objects and sense organs, where anomalies such as happiness, sadness and the like arises. Again, the self, which is self-luminous, illuminating even the intellectual modifications and is of the nature of witness, it is immediate experience, aporokshanbhuti at all times. It is eternal and it exists always in its real self. It is the oneness only of the subject consciousness with the object consciousness.